Ayo, what is groovy? What is good? It's your boy Papa Capes, and we are back with yet another Raid Shadow Legends video. Thank you so much to Raid for sponsoring this video and for hooking us up with our own download link that you can find in the description down below. Using that link directly supports me and directly supports the channel. If you choose to start with that link, you will instantly be greeted by Tholan Falbeard right off the bat. And as you progress just a little bit, you'll meet the likes of Ugo, Tagore, and Mausoleum Mage. And right now you can still use code RAID7 for Pelops the Victor or code WRATH for Padraig. Let's get into the video. So today we are going to be pulling some shards for Rhaia. And Rhaia, the Mourned right here, the new Sylvan Watchers Void Legendary. We've never done a Void Shard pull. It's not like crazy amount of shards. It's only going to be 24. So briefly to go over, Kita A1 attacks twice. Each hit will ignore 15% of the target's defense, heals this champion by 30% of the damage inflicted, grants an extra turn if this attack kills the target. A2, Legacy of Despair, has a 75% chance of placing a 25% weakened debuff on the target for 2 turns, will ignore 15% of the target's defense, and any block damage buffs. Will also ignore an additional 5% of the target's defense for each buff on this champion, stacks up to 35%. Reduces the cooldown of this champion's Discordant Fury skill by 1 turn, and then places a stun debuff on all enemies for 1 turn if this attack kills the target. This debuff cannot be resisted or blocked. Over to her A3, which is an AoE, a triple hitting AoE. Before attacking, places a 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. Each hit has a 75% chance of stealing 1 random buff from each enemy. Fills this champion's turn meter by 10% for each buff stolen. A triple hitting AoE is crazy. Even after placing that 50% increased attack, fantastic. So she's also got a passive. This champion deals 30% more damage while they're under 3 or more buffs. While this champion is under an increased attack buff, a block debuffs buff, and a veil or perfect veil buff at the same time, prevents this champion's death, and their debuffs and instant effects also cannot be resisted. Not quite sure I understand what that means, but that's okay. I will read up on that and make sure that I understand it eventually. She also comes with an aura, increases ally attack in all battles by 35%, only applies to Sylvan Watchers. Interesting. So yeah, we are going to be pulling for her, but before that, we did recently open a couple of sacred shards for the 1+1 event, and I'll insert a little video here because I recorded it, but I didn't have my camera on. I always get slightly disheartened when recording for like few pulls, but we were able to pull 2 Shadowkin champions. We pulled a second Karato Fox Hunter, so I've been able to add Faction Guardians to the Shadowkin faction, as you can see right there. And then we were also lucky enough to pull Ishiyama. If I'm not mistaken, that's how you pronounce his name. Ishiyama the Immovable. So this is definitely going to help with our Shadowkin faction wars. We are still unable to do it though, so Masahiro needs to come in. I use Kinagashi currently as my reviver, but there's no proper healing, so Masahiro is the key that I need to get through these faction wars in normal. But let's not waffle on too much. Like I said, we've only got 24 voids, so I'll probably do single pulls, and then let's hope for Rhaia. Let's hope for Rhaia. I don't have any rituals. It's not something I've done often. This might be the first ever Void Shard opening, but let's see what we get. And yeah, let's just vibe through it. Whether we get something dope, it's a GG's. Whether we don't get anything we want, it's a GG's. Let's hope for the best, yo. Positivity and vibes. So the first one is a rare from the Dwarf faction, Kurzad Deep Heart. Nothing special, nothing we're going to talk about. I'll focus on good epics and hopefully legendaries as well. So the fusion is coming up soon, but I do feel confident enough in terms of, yes, okay, we've only got 6 sacreds right now, but I feel like Ultra Knight McClan Boss is going to be friendly. And then we've also got a bunch of champions in storage that we can pull for champ chasers. So that's why we are going ahead and pulling this. I won't be going for Talina's Soul. I don't think I'll be going for that at all. So we are using this opportunity to summon some champions. Let's see who we get next. Another rare, nothing too exciting as yet. Drowned Bloat Wraith. On to the next. For a second there, I thought that was going to be something juicy. There was a slight pause. So I thought it was going to be something juicy. And just like that, something Juicy, maybe. Anger. It's a legendary, so I'm not going to complain. No idea who this is from the Orcs faction. Looks kind of dope. His A1 attacks one enemy twice. That's it. Once ascended to 3 stars, attacks one enemy twice, but places an extra hit if the enemy has a provoke debuff on them. And then his A2 attacks all enemies, places a provoke debuff on them for 1 turn. Also has a 75% chance of placing a provoke debuff on them for 2 turns instead. Then places a 30% reflect damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also places a counter attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. So that's pretty cool. And then the passive is Bravado. If an enemy with the provoke debuff attacks this champion, has a 40% chance of replacing it with another provoke debuff for 1 turn. Also has a 90% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff on an enemy for 1 turn when an enemy under provoke debuff attacks an ally. Each hit taken will reduce damage taken by 5% up to 30% in 1 round. And then it also comes with an aura, increases ally HP in all battles by 33%. It is red though. I don't always barely ever take in-game ratings into account, but I'll go check out Hell Hades and Ayumi after this and do some research onto this champion. Hey, it's still a legendary champion, so I'm not going to complain. We vibing out here. It was gold. Will that be the only one we pull? Or are we in for a treat? It's a rare right there, hollow. On to the next we go. Purple's looking groovy. Andressia. If I'm not mistaken, I think Godseeker and Neri is a Void champion, and I would really like a Godseeker on my account. Andressia, right there from the High Elves faction, attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of placing a 25% decreased crit damage debuff for 2 turns. Attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a stun. Cool. And then attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs by 2 turns. Increases the duration of all increased defense buffs on allies by 1 turn. Once ascended, at the start of each turn, places a 50% ally protection buff for 2 turns on the ally with the lowest max HP. Will not be placed on this champion. Ratings look kind of decent as opposed to the Lego. This one's full on green and the other one full on red. Like I said, I don't factor these in too seriously. I do my research and I read the kits and everything like that. I use multiple sources. But let's continue. Back to the rares we go. Vanguard, which is cool. Gotta take the W's, but you gotta take the L's. Daywalker. I didn't even check how many we have left. I think 15 left. 15 left. Another Pain Keeper. That's cool. Give us some purple. Give us some gold. Give us some purple. Give us some gold. Bulwark. I don't know. Do you guys have like superstitions? Do you guys have theories? Glade Wolf's actually kind of good. Sorry to interrupt myself. Glade Wolf's kind of dope. Sylvan Watchers, one of the best rares in the game, in my opinion. Don't really use him as yet. Haven't really built one, but according to the research that I've done, he's quite solid. So yeah, I'm just gonna use one of my superstitions and just back out of the summoning altar or the summoning portal and just let things refresh, go and look around a couple of things, and just like that, back in there we go. 13 left. Let's get it going. Hey, my superstition didn't work, but there was nothing to lose. Dennet the Tusk Knight. On to the next. It's rare again. On to the next we go. This has been Mel Branch. Are there more legendaries in store for us? Dulgol. It's a difficult name to say. 10 more. It's another rare. Is that another Malbranch? It is indeed another Malbranch. Rare, tax. Ayo, Tree Shield Knot. I feel like he's quite decent as well. Sylvan Watcher. I feel like I've heard about Tree Shield Knot and he could be quite decent. We got another epic. Who is this? Eurogrim. Eurogrim attacks one enemy twice, damage based on attack. If ascended to 3 stars, attacks one enemy twice. Each hit has a 25% chance, placing a 5% poison buff for 2 turns. Removes all debuff from an ally, then heals them by 40% of their max HP. So a single target cleanse. Interesting. Places 2 5% poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns. Also places a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. And then a speed aura in all battles by 20%. I like that speed aura. It's kind of cool. Hey, that's a new champion. I'm happy. It's an epic. So we're vibing out here, yo. We are vibing. 7 more to go. 7's a lucky number. Give us something groovy. Another epic. We do not have Inquisitor Shamail. We don't have him. But whenever I fight him in Grim Forest or Curse City, this homie just doesn't stop shooting me with this crossbow. Do not know how to stop him from shooting you. I had theories that I don't know if they are correct, but he just doesn't ever stop shooting. Man's got infinite arrows in his pocket. It's crazy. It's crazy. Attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of decreasing the duration of a random buff on a target by 1 turn. If ascended to 3 stars, will attack one enemy, has a 50% chance of decreasing the duration of a random buff on the target by 1 turn. Every time an enemy places a debuff on an ally, uses the skill against that enemy. These counter attacks will only deal 50% of the normal damage and cannot be critical. If there are multiple champions in the team with the skill, only one champion's counter attack will activate. Onto the A2, attacks one enemy 3 times, will ignore 25% of the target's defense, will ignore a further 25% of the target's defense for each buff on this champion. Places a true fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. Passive. Each critical hit fills this champion's turn meter by 7.5%. Whenever an ally receives a fear or a true fear debuff from an enemy, this skill will instantly remove the debuff and fill the team leader's turn meter by 15%. So yeah, I still don't know why sometimes he just carries on shooting. That could be silly because I just read it, right? Oh well. Hey, but Inquisitor, I've heard good things about him, so let's continue. I feel like there's another gold in here. I just have a feeling. Well, the background's slightly gold, so that could potentially count. Bloodhorn, nothing really to talk about. On to the next. It is blue. Blue. Steadfast Marshal. Steadfast Marshal. Guys, I feel like there's another gold. Drowned Bloat Wraith once again. 3 more. 3 more. 3 more. Is that a Fellhound? It is a Fellhound. Hey, Campaign Farmer, if you don't have a Campaign Farmer already, Fellhound is crazy. It's got AoE on the A1. And yeah, I think his animation is really quick. I've heard that he's a really good Campaign Farmer. I use Supreme Gallic. Animations are quick, rapidly goes through those stages in 12.3. So let's go 2 more left. What's the chances we pull 1 more gold? Amarantine Skeleton. I dig the purple coming through the skelly. Pretty cool, pretty cool. What's the odds the last one is 1 more gold for the homies? It is not unlucky. It is Ifrit. That's such a weird name to say. Ifrit. Ifrit. Right there. So there you go. Our first mini Void Shard pull on our account. Again, there's a lot of firsts for us and we're vibing out here, yo. We are vibing. Now we can continue saving for the July fusion and we are going to secure that. We are going to do our best to secure that. Can't make any promises because again, I'm still quite a rookie when it comes to fusions, but I had fun. That was a W right there. That gave us 23,000 points into this event. So I'm not quite sure where I'll use the points. I haven't necessarily given it a bash as yet. So I won't rush into this. I will go and check exactly what's happening over here before I make any decisions. And yeah, that's been that. Thank you for joining me. I don't know if you guys have rituals. If you do, let me know down in the comments below. If your luck has been fantastic, if you decided to pull currently for this 2x Void event, let me know as well. We weren't lucky enough to get Rhaia, but we were vibing. And on a Friday night, vibes are crucial. So thank you once again to Raid for sponsoring this video and for hooking us up with our own download link that you can find in the description down below. Using that link directly supports me and directly supports the channel. I hope your luck has been absolutely fantastic if you are going for Rhaia, if you are summoning Voids, and if you're going for Talina's Soul. Let me know in the comments and I'll meet you guys there right after this video goes live. Happiness is a choice. Kindness is free. Leave your mark, yo. Peace out.